year.
Speaking of, Miami's very much in that situation as well. Finally, the specter of the whole NCAA debacle is behind them. Hurricanes 22-15 over their last 3 seasons. Their average class rank has still been solid. Only 8 players drafted in the last couple of years. They only 8. It seems like once upon a time Miami used to have that many first-rounders almost every year.
Yeah.
Al Golden, though, starting to get things going in the right direction. Finally, some of the uncertainty behind them. Al staying put in Miami certainly helps as well. What do you think about the direction of the Hurricane program right now?
Well, they're really, I think, addressing key areas where they know that they're either devoid of talent and depth right now or they're going to be. They've got to anticipate they're going to lose Duke Johnson next year. So what do? They go in to get a premier running back in Joseph Yearby in this class. Where are they losing numbers right now off of this team? In the offensive line. They've addressed that across the board. Trevor Darling at the tackle spots, Casey McDermott as well. They've also, in my opinion, they're going to be bringing in a quarterback in Brad Kaya that I think is one of the most undervalued players at the position in this class out of California going to Miami. And you can credit James Coley, their offensive coordinator, for identifying him last March. So that's a key because, as we all know, you got a quarterback, you've got a chance.
No, and that's great. And they got a lot of weapons around them, and they've done a great job, I feel like, recruiting speed. You look at Miami and Florida State's receivers, and then you look at Florida and you go, wow, one of these teams are doing it right. These 2 teams are doing it right, one's not. When I watch Miami, you know what they need? They need more Thomases. They need defensive linemen.
And size. They're small.
They are small, but you know what? They're small and they can't rush the passer. That's not a good combination. They're not disruptive. I mean, they need to get back to some Will Forks up in the middle and some guys on the defensive front. That's where I think they really need to improve next year.
When you look at the way Al Golden has handled some of the uncertainty and still been able to put together good teams and now trying to take the next step, what's your reaction to it, Mike?
I think it's amazing. I think the reality is this year they burst on the scene 7-0 and then limped in, and it didn't affect recruiting. To me, that is showing that he's got an overall plan. Miami's always been a great place to recruit, too. With the sanctions and with the problems and not performance on the field, I think he has overcome that. His stability is going to do a lot for them in the future.
So Miami hoping to have a big day, National Signing Day, throughout the afternoon, morning and afternoon. We're going to take you around the country. Let's do another whip around the country right now. We'll start with the Hurricanes' Mark Schwartz following Al Golden State. Mark?
You know, Reese, we were calling this the beginning of the college football season in 2014. Well, here at Miami, they are looking at today as the beginning of the Al Golden era. Now, I know he's been here since December of 2010, but 6 months after that, as Golden told me yesterday, the A-bomb dropped. The A-bomb being, of course, NCAA allegations and eventually an NCAA investigation. The mood in the war room with the Hurricanes this morning was overjoyed. They compare it to last year when they looked at their board at 8 a.m. and wondered if it would ever change, and it never did. This time, all of their commits pledged to Miami. The faxes started coming in fast and furious at 7 a.m. One of the key players they got was quarterback Brad Kaya from Chaminade in California, a kid that Golden raves about his intellect and says he's going to be an excellent pocket passer here in Coral Gables. Also, big announcements on the way from Booker T. Washington, the school in Miami that has won 2 consecutive state titles, the best football program in the nation. Miami is trying to get 3 players out of that class. Their announcement was supposed to happen at 9 o'clock. I am told it has not quite happened, but one of the key players that Al Golden expects to get is Chad Thomas, a very talented defensive end, but the real key player and the unknown that everybody is waiting on in the state of Florida is quarterback Treon Harris. Which way will the dual threat go? Now let's find out what's happening in Tuscaloosa.